Hello everyone and welcome to our educational session. The topic of our session today is signaling high status, and it's a part of multi-part series. And today we are going to part 4 of this session. And the topic again of this session is signaling high status, alternative and distinctive ways. Imagine that you're on the street and you see someone and like you think what kind of a status this person has in the society. Usually people may dress in very expensive clothes, they may drive expensive cars, but these are traditional outward signs of high status. In this multi-part series we're talking and we're giving details of alternative status signals. And these alternative status signals are subtle and not that visible as flashy clothes or flashy cars. So let's go on right away to the topic of today. And we did discuss that there are 6 different and distinctive traits. And currently we are coming to the distance or trait in terms of aesthetics. Throughout history, beautiful objects and highly refined products have had the capacity to generate positive responses among people. It frequently happens that an article which serves the honorific purpose of conspicuous waste is in the same time a beautiful object. In this view, luxury products gratify our sense of the beautiful more than ordinary products. Indeed, beauty, refinement, and aesthetic pleasantries are of particular importance in the domain of luxury goods. When integrated into products, beautiful and artistic images infuse prestige and confirm luxuriousness to the goods which are displayed. Thus, on the aesthetics continuum, conventional luxury goods tend to be beautiful, refined, and aesthetically pleasing. Nevertheless, in the past decades, we have witnessed the rise of consumer trends such as ugly luxury, precisely at the other end of the aesthetic spectrum. That is, alternative signals that are distant from the traditional canons in terms of beauty and refinement. As some like researchers commented on this anomaly early on, judging from the ugly and repugnant things that are sometimes in vogue, it would seem as though fashion were desirous in exhibiting its power by getting us to adopt the most atrocious things for its sake alone. Like, for example, we are if we're looking at luxury designer Miuccia Prada in 1990s, it is considered a forerunner of the deliberately quest for ugliness and the rejection of conventional ideas of beauty in luxury goods. More recently, the terms ugly luxury and ugly chic have come to refer to expensive appeal that does not conform to the ideas of beauty, niceness, or sex appeal, and typically entails um, unflattering shapes, odd color combinations, and outrageous patterns. Balenciaga Triple S shoes, which cost $900 a pair of ostentatiously unlovely sneakers, and Rick Owens' furry Birkenstocks are the poster childs of these new generations of status symbols. Yet these ugly signals are meeting the tastes of high-end consumers. The Triple S sold out in 30 minutes in Balenciaga boutiques on Madison Airport, and this was in 2017. And Birkenstock more than doubled its production in just 5 years, to the point that luxury conglomerate LVMH recently acquired majority stake in Balenciaga. Definitions and foundations for these specific traits. This distance on the aesthetic dimension refers to the difference among signals in terms of beauty along the beauty versus ugly continuum. And it has been measured, for example, with hashtags on Instagram, like, for example, hashtag ugly shoes, and manipulated by characterizing products as good looking or ugly. The progressive rise of ugliness in luxury goods can be understood in the context of the gradual changes in aesthetics, in fine arts, and other cultural domains taking place over the past century. The supremacy of one beauty standard, a notion widely accepted until the beginning of the 20th century, was challenged by the new artistic and philosophical avant-gardes of the 1900s, looking for new forms of expression and less consecrated principles. In this context, some artists and connoisseurs begin taking advantage of unrefined and hideous objects that, if wisely immersed in sophisticated environments, would acquire the opposite valence. The process of sublimation is also related to the emergence of the kitsch and camp genres, two aesthetic styles of sensibility that regard certain items as appealing precisely because of their ugliness, lack of refinement, and bad taste. As many consumer phenomena, these new aesthetic paradigms progressively leaked from the visual arts into the luxury and consumer goods, helping along at times by the artists themselves or by creative directions recognized by the artist. Acknowledging these influences from the art world, Miuccia Prada openly tied her rejection of the enduring cliché of beauty and willful pursuit of ugliness to analogous paradigm shift in visual arts, cinema, and literature. Similarly, Louis Vuitton recently launched a co-branded collection with the artist called Jeff Koons, known for his models of kitsch objects. The collection of handbags and accessories features a classic trope of the kitsch genre, in which serial reproductions of masterpieces like uh, Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa are printed on everyday objects. So what are the benefits of this specific trait and quality of high status? First, by diverting from the beauty paradigm of the moment and choosing ugly products, high status consumers can distinguish themselves from mainstream looks and signal fashion forwardness to others in the know. Second, choosing ugly items is also a strategy to restrict imitations by outsiders by making signals difficult to copy. Given that most people prefer to consume attractive products, choosing ugly items discourages others from poaching the signal. Finally, showcasing ugly luxury products is an effective means to catch people's attention in social media when scrolling online feeds. Thus, these items have become particularly attractive to celebrities and influencers eager to gain popularity and encourage likes online. So what are the costs for using this specific signal and trade? First, ugly luxury goods are as expensive as beautiful ones. An empirical analysis of prices charged by well-known luxury brands like, for example, LV, Dolce & Gabbana, Balenciaga, for their appeal, reveals that these firms charge the same price for unattractive products as for the attractive ones. Second, it takes more confidence to wear something that is jarring and most other people will not understand and will perceive as ugly. While everyone should be able to make reasonably correct inferences about aesthetically pleasing goods, ugly products are more likely to be misperceived by the general population. By choosing items that are more likely to be misidentified or unrecognized, high-status consumers forego the upside of show-casting fine luxury goods and thus incur potential social interaction costs. Ugly signals are ideationally complex. Coming to appreciate the sophisticated aesthetics of ugliness, kitsch, or camp requires a substantial amount of domain-specific knowledge and cultural capital. What are the extension of this specific trait? The extension of ephemerality. The aesthetic dimension, or more specifically, what embodies beauty or ugliness, is in continuous evolution. In particular, objects deemed aesthetically ugly when first encountered may progressively become more attractive. Research shows that the liking of complex visual stimuli, such as ugly luxury, increases as the stimuli becomes less novel and more familiar. Thus, related exposure may make some ugly luxury products progressively less hideous and more appealing in the market. For example, after being ridiculed and derided, Balenciaga chunky and deformed triple S sneakers were imitated by everyone, from top luxury brands to mainstream players. Like, for example, Louis Vuitton, Off-White, Nike, Adidas, and contributed to reshaping of modern footwear. Thus, ugly luxuries may be more temporary and transient than other alternative status signals, like, for example, vintage product or inconspicuous luxuries, because consumers get used rather quickly to this unconforming aesthetic through repeated exposition. In other words, the perceived distance of specific instances of ugliness in luxury may be more transitory and ephemeral than the perceived distance of alternative signals on other dimensions. The notion is in line with research suggesting that ephemeral luxuries representing the brand's cutting-edge aesthetics are introduced more often than iconic luxuries representing the brand's traditional design and legacy. To test this empirically, future research could examine whether the rate at which newer forms of ugly luxury are introduced and trickle down in the market, and it is faster than other alternative status signals. And with this said, we are ending the talk of this high status signal and going forward to the next high status symbols, high alternative status symbols. And we're looking at the trade and the distance in terms of culture. Highbrow culture and sophisticated cultural references in products and communication have always permeated the world of luxury goods. Examples are, for example, Dior 2021 campaign featuring models portrayed as Caravaggio and other Renaissance paintings, and Rolex's sponsorships of prestigious cultural institutions, like, for example, Teatro alla Scala, Royal Opera House, and others, and other highbrow leisure activities like horse riding, sailing, golf, and etc. In contrast with this long-standing association between luxury and highbrow, dominant culture, some emerging status signals have clear lowbrow cultural connotations or arise from marginalized groups and subcultures. Several top chefs, for example, offer curiosity lowbrow recipe, such like hot dogs, macs and cheeses, and junk food on their high-end menu, like for example Beleza and Berger 2020 research shows. Notable examples of appropriation from subcultures include Louis Vuitton collaboration with the artist Takeshi Murakami, known for his work directly inspired by the otaku subculture. And this relates to the Japanese fanaticism of comics, or the brand's street style collection in collaboration with Supreme, which is an American skateboard brand. In the same vein, Marc Jacobs' 2018 collection contains Grunge Manifesto, and Gucci, creative director, likes being a bit punk in an unexpected place, like the lining of a jacket. As many scholars have noted, what eventually becomes cool and trendy sometimes start with lowbrow culture and outsiders on the fringe of society. This group hold the potential to invent a radical and innovative kind of cultural meaning, even when they're devoted to overturning the established order, or determined to prevent their future culture from being appropriated, like for example the culture of hippies, punks, and etc. Then in in sociology, omnivorousness refers to elites broadening of the repertoire of consumption beyond highbrow culture. In addition to these examples from food and clothing, various fields such as music, movies, and home decoration have documented this progressive shift away from cultural snobbery. Given that embracing lowbrow tastes and marginalized groups signals on behalf of the top strata is always partial, scholars have also referred to this mixture of different cultural elements as a mix and match of high and low. So what are the definitions and foundations of this trait? Distance on the cultural dimension refers to the difference between traditional status symbols and alternative status symbols in terms of cultural association along the highbrow versus lowbrow cultural continuum, and has been measured, for example, through the co-appearance of different words in texts and manipulated via products with clear highbrow or clear lowbrow connotations. Why would high status actors move to the other end of the cultural spectrum? The countersigning literature shed lights on the adequacy, uh, adequacy of this peculiar signal strategy and explains how the partial appropriation of marginal groups expressions by high-status consumers and luxury brands is a costly signal of status. When multiple signaling dimensions are available, high types, like for example, those high in wealth or some other valued attribute, sometimes behave like low types and purposely avoid obvious signals because they are concerned about separating themselves from medium type who use such signals. By broadening their cultural boundaries and opting for sophisticated alternative signaling strategy, the elites not only distinguish themselves from the mainstream but also do so in ways that other consumers, confused by how highbrow signals are embraced, are unlikely to copy. Notably, while lowbrow signals may convey low status on their own, the presence of multiple signaling dimensions in the environment allows for embracing these signals only partially, like we said, mix and match, disambiguating their meaning for others in the know, while remaining unrecognizable to the most. For this reason, these signals are ideationally complex and require a high level of sophistication to be accurately decoded by the others. In many ways, the socio-cultural changes that progressively led to appreciating the mixing and matching of high and low tastes have similar roots in the avant-garde and postmodern sensibilities as the one discussed for the aesthetic dimension. For example, the surrealist artist Salvador Dali and designer Elsa Schiaparelli created the very first dress with intentional tears in 1938, thus violating the norm of perfection inherent in designer clothing and suggesting associations between expensive dresses and the worn clothing of the poor. This dress is considered the precursor of the so-called pauperist style, and the ensuing celebration of distressed materials, holes, and tears in luxury by high-end designers and brands such as Rally Kawakubo, Martin Margiela, and Golden Goose. So what are the benefits? Compared with opting for traditional highbrow signals, the first benefit of selecting lowbrow items or tastes associated with subcultures is that they provide a distinction without being perceived as snobby or motivated by impression management. In other words, these status signals grant authenticity, which is particularly appealing to the elites as it helps them address the insecurity and discomfort evoked by the attainment of wealth and extrinsic rewards. In addition to authenticity, under the right circumstances, these non-conforming behaviors can be more beneficial than efforts to conform to highbrow culture by signaling high level of coolness, autonomy, innovativeness, and even irony. So what are the costs of embracing this signal? Embracing lowbrow or subcultural signals carries significant misidentification risks. Indeed, mixing different cultural elements is more often than not misunderstood and received with reproach rather than with enthusiasm. Being associated with an undesired or marginalized group can lead to social disapproval, exclusion, or host of other negative consequences. History is full of examples of high-profile people or luxury brands denigrated because of their non-conforming choices. For example, Tom Ford's stylistic decision to mix and match high and low brand styles in his 2018 ready-to-wear collection was deemed goofy, costing him his cool. The reputation of Carlo Graco, a Michelin star, winning Italian chef, has paid a heavy toll for his endorsing of packaged potato chips. While some high-status consumers and top luxury brands can afford to deviate from conventional highbrow markets and poach signals from the low end of the cultural spectrum, others will refrain from these risky choices because they are more anxious and insecure about social standing. So what are the extensions? The extensions are wealth distribution and power distance belief. Wealth distribution, how do wealth distribution and power distance beliefs influence the emergency and adoption of these alternative status signals? We propose that equality in terms of wealth should increase the likelihood of poaching signals from lowbrow cultures and marginalized groups. First, reducing wealth gap tiers increases status spending because stacking tiers closer together increases the numbers of others one can surpass by investing in status. This is especially true in large societies when there is plurality of different status signaling goods. And second, when resources are more equally distributed, more people have access to traditional status symbols, thus triggering trickle-down dynamics. By contrast, when only the top strata can afford traditional luxuries, the signaling value of these symbols will not be diluted. To start, future work and research could examine measures of inequality at the country level, such as, for example, Gini index, and the penetration of alternative status signals that are distanced on the continuum in that specific country, where inequality and concentration of resources are high. For example, countries which are high Gini index, like South Africa or Brazil, alternative signals with low-brow cultural connotations should be less widespread than in areas with lower inequality. For example, countries with low Gini index such as Japan or Belgium. So what is the power distance belief? Future research may also consider individual level differences related to distance. For example, the construct of power distance belief captures the extent to which people accept that power and wealth are distributed inequally and respect the social hierarchy. Consumers endorsing the legitimacy of power distance and hierarchies, like for example at high level of power distance belief, will likely prefer luxuries that send clear signals of vertical differentiation. By contrast, consumers challenging the legitimacy of power distance and hierarchies like low level of power distance belief will favor non-hierarchical differentiation and appreciate alternative signals with low-brow inflections. And with this set, I'm ending talking about this trait and ending this presentation. Look for the next part of this multi-part series, and this next presentation is going to talk about the distance in terms of pace of life. And with this set, I'm ending this high signaling of high status presentation, and coming back to like introduction of myself and the project that I work on. My name is Paul Arsov, and I'm the founder of the Decentralized Web project. We are building a decentralized communication and advertising platform, and recently we did release a marketplace and collection of NFTs based on three-dimensional objects. With these three-dimensional objects, there has to be special software which loads and displays these three-dimensional objects. Traditionally, people who like creators of 3D objects, they're using standard game engines, and the choices are usually either Unity game engine or Unreal game engine. So what we decided, instead of using standard game engines, is to build our own 3D software engine. And what this 3D software engine does is it loads the file of the this 3D object. It opens a window on a computer screen. It loads this file on this window on the computer screen, and it starts animating the 3D object in a way of moving it in a random fashion around the window. In addition to addition to opening a window, loading and animating of the 3D object, our 3D software engine has multiple additional capabilities. The first additional capability of our 3D software engine is the capability of speaking. Our 3D NFTs can speak in one of three different voices. They can speak either in a male voice or in a female voice or in a whisper kind of voice. In addition to these three basic voices, there are three different flavors of voices. A voice can be spoken either in a normal speed or in a fast speed or in a slow speed manner. And if we take a male voice and it is spoken in a slow speed manner, then this voice can come as the voice of a masculine person or the voice of an old person. If on the other hand we take a female voice and it is spoken in a fast speed manner, then this voice can come as the voice of a funny person or the voice of a little girl. The next capability of our 3D NFTs is the capability of voice recognition. The user can issue voice commands to the 3D NFTs, and for example, if we have a 3D NFT which is loaded and animated, moving in random fashion in a window, then you can issue your very first voice command to the 3D NFT to stop moving, and then the 3D NFT is going to stand still and stop moving. Then you can issue following voice command to the 3D NFT to move left, move right, move up, move down, zoom in, zoom out, rotate. And then the 3D NFT is going to fulfill each one of these separate voice commands and move left, then move right, move up, then move down, come closer, zoom in, go further away, zoom out, and start rotating. The next capability of our 3D NFTs is the capability of them having basic artificial intelligence. Wow, really wow. You can ask the 3D NFT what is your name, and then the 3D NFT is going to reply with their name. You can ask the 3D NFT who are you, and the 3D NFT is going to reply in few sentences of who they are. You can ask the 3D NFT to describe something, for example, describe Web3 or describe decentralization or describe Russia. And then the 3D NFT is going to describe in few sentences in voice about Web3 or about decentralization or about the country called Russia. You can ask the next additional and important capability of these 3D NFTs is the capability of seeing them in real 3 dimensions. Currently, we have a version of the 3D NFT which is displayed on a flat 2-dimensional computer screen, and we are using our imagination to imagine the 3D NFT in 3 dimensions. But we are going to be having a second version of the 3D NFTs, and this version is going to be displayed in a way of stereoscopics. What stereoscopics means is that part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in red or reddish colors, and another part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in blue or bluish colors. Then you can come to our 3D NFT marketplace, and probably this is the point I tell you about the name and the URL of our 3D NFT marketplace. It is 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. 3D NFT is typed in a way with the number 3 followed by the letter D and then 3 other letters NFT, and it is all together 3D NFT. Then there is dot, then there are two words, decentralized and web, and they're typed all together, decentralized web. Then there is dot and it ends with org. Once again, 3D NFT dot decentralized web dot org. On the top of the site, you're going to see a link to accessories. You can click on this link and you're going to see that we offer special glasses. You can order one pair of these glasses. When you receive these glasses, you're going to see that one lens of these glasses is red and the other lens of these glasses is blue. Then you can put these glasses on. You can request displaying of the 3D NFT in the way stereoscopics, and you're going to see the 3D NFT as coming out of the flat two-dimensional computer screen, and you're going to see it in real 3 dimensions. So that's it about talking about the capabilities of our 3D NFTs and the 3D software engine. I can tell you a little bit about our 3D NFT marketplace. In our marketplace, we allow our users to skip paying gas fees for the deployment of the smart contracts for the non-fungible tokens and transfers of ownership, transactions of transfer of ownership from one user to another, because we have our own blockchain instance. This blockchain instance runs the same software which is on Ethereum mainnet, on Polygon Matic, on Avalanche Avax, on Binance Smart Chain, and many other blockchains. In addition to this like not charging users for gas fees, we allow our users to pay with multiple crypto coins, and currently the choice of crypto coins used for buying and then receiving proceedings from sale include 4 different coins. It includes Solana Matic, Solana Sol, Polygon Matic, Avalanche Avax, and Qcoin, which is a big centralized crypto exchange. They have a coin called KCS. In addition to buying and receiving proceedings from sale in 4 different crypto coins, we have a second parallel and independent way of buying and selling of our 3D NFTs, and it is done entirely in fiat currency. For example, if you're the user and you come to our 3D NFT marketplace, you click on a 3D NFT which you like to buy, and then you're going to proceed with choosing either one of 4 different crypto coins or payment with fiat currency. Let's say you choose payment with fiat currency, then you click to go next, and you're presented with a screen where you can put the number of your debit or credit card, and you can complete the payment and become when you complete the payment, what is happening is there's going to be a transaction from your national fiat currency and conversion from this national fiat currency to US dollars and deposit into our bank account. We are following this action with a transaction of transfer of the initial ownership from our marketplace to you, and you become the first owner of this 3D NFT. So let's say there's a second owner. They come to our 3D NFT marketplace. They decide to pay also with fiat currency, and they're putting their debit or credit card, and they're making a payment for the purchase. What is going then to happen is there's going to be a transaction and a conversion from the national fiat currency of the second user, which could be different than the national fiat currency of the first user and different than US dollars, and it is going to be converted to US dollars and deposited in our bank account. Then what is going to happen is there's going to be a transaction of transfer of ownership from the first user to the second user, and the second user becomes the current owner of this 3D NFT. Then we are going to follow this action with a third action and conversion from US dollars to the national fiat currency of you, the first user, and this amount in your national fiat currency is going to be deposited in your bank account. With this set, I did describe the second parallel and independent way of buying and selling 3D NFT in fiat currency. And with this set, I'm ending this presentation. Watch closer to the next part of this presentation, because it is very, very interesting. And with this said, thank you for coming, thank you for viewing and listening. Have a nice day, have a nice evening, and goodbye.